Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Evolution Now podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I get started, I always want to thank all my followers, all the views, the comments, the likes, subscribes, all of it is super fantastic. I can't thank you enough. I greatly appreciate it. I tell you, it's mind-blowing that so many people, millions of people want to hear what old man has to say. But nonetheless, I hope as always this resonates with you. It gets you to think and to think deeply about your life.
Let's talk a little bit about mindset
Mm-hmm.
and how does one, I guess, get their mind right and set in order to get things accomplished. Can you speak to just mindset in general?
You know, the word mindset is often thrown around, I believe, rather loosely because most people do not take the time to consider truly what the word entails. When your mind is set, that means it won't move. Many people try to embrace a mindset that unfortunately is not secure. And what I mean by that, if your mind is set upon a certain goal, a certain outcome, if you will, but then you find yourself wavering from that particular mindset, then the mind is not set. Mind should be set upon whatever goal or endeavor one needs to do. Now, how do I get the appropriate mindset? You know, the quickest way to solidify your mindset, to make it solid, is through repetition. And when you're a child, you learn to walk through repetition, and eventually you will learn to run. But before you walk or run, you are crawling. The child has it set in his or her mind to get up and to start to move for whatever reason. It's innate in us, if you will. The point I'm trying to make is simple. Anything you're trying to do, you're going to have to do it through repetition. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The more you reinforce your mindset with positive affirmations, and the same thing swings both ways. The door swings both ways, obviously. If you're in a negative mindset and through repetition you're having negative thoughts continuously, then your mind is set upon that. Most people really don't understand the power of the mind when it's set in the affirmations or goal you're trying to bring about through prayer, manifestation, meditation, whatever word you choose to categorize it as. But the fact of the matter is relatively simple. To make your mind set, first I would tell you is have a clear and concise goal. What is it you're wanting to do? Many people set wishes, not goals. They wish they had more money. They wish they had a better relationship. They wish their business was more profitable. Not that wishing is wrong, if you will, but nonetheless, when you have a goal, a particular set of goals you want to accomplish and your mind is set upon them, then you should start working towards accomplishing those goals. So what I would advise anybody to do, I know a lot of times things are said and it makes it relatively seem more simpler than it is, but it really is just that simple. The one thing you have to do is to eliminate doubt. Doubt, fear, worry, and anxieties are the enemy of your mindset. The things that you find yourself worried about, angered about, confused about, depressed about, anxious about, you have to ask these things. If you don't want to feel this way, why is it that you're experiencing these things? Where do these thoughts and emotions come from? Because this is not what you want. Your mind not only must be set, you must also guard your mind. If you were to go into a museum and they had a rare piece of art and they had it stanchioned off and security guards and laser beams shooting at it, why would they do all of that? Because that particular piece of art is very, very valuable. I view the art as your mind. You must stanchion off your mind from any negative thought, individual, person, place, or thing that will place you in a position where you start to question or your mindset starts to crumble. You see, ultimately, it's up to you. You have to change the way you think. It's not up to me or anyone else or any other content creator. It is entirely up to you. Remember, it's your life. And every day you get to choose what you want to think about. When you go to bed this evening, there's no one in your head but you. When you wake up in the morning, there will be no one in your head but you. The question is, what is the conversation you are having with yourself? Do you see yourself in a positive light or in a negative light? Again, these are all the fundamental principles of your mindset. I would encourage you to do this. First and foremost, forgive yourself for any mistakes you made. Everybody fucks up. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just a given. It's part of the human evolution or existence, if you will. But once you've forgiven yourself and forgiven others, you must basically detox from all the crap that you have in your mind that is not serving you. This, by definition, might take quite some time because many of us have been fed crap our entire lives. Hey, at the end of the day, I encourage you to think positively about yourself, your circumstance, and situation. Your mindset is the fundamental principle or the foundation in which you will build your new life upon. But it's entirely up to you. I hope that information helps. What else we got? What you got for me, Gus?
I'm really glad you mentioned the definition of like wishes versus your actual desire, because my next question was going to be, if people want something so bad it's not happening, is there different levels of desire for manifestation to occur? So if you're just wishing for it and you're not putting action or goals to it, now I understand that.
Well, I can tell you how to primarily get whatever you want within the realm of reason. And what I mean by the realm of reason, what's reasonable? What is reasonable? Many people will probably want to be a billionaire, but the fact is everyone's not going to become a billionaire. Many guys will want to play in the NBA and be able to jump out the gym. The fact is everybody can't do that. Everybody cannot throw a 105-mile-an-hour fastball, even though you might have a desire to do that. The point I'm trying to make to you is, how do you get what you want in your life within the realm of reason? Now, if you will indulge me for just a moment, I want to expand your consciousness, if you will, and get you to think in a different paradigm. In all of us is a divine spark. And what I mean by that is a divine spark of consciousness. You are aware. I am talking to you, you hear me, all right? We also have in our consciousness something called feelings or emotions. Emotions are energy in motion, your emotions. And then we couple that with knowledge, wisdom, and last but not least, the word called faith. This is one that most people don't use. Faith, hope, perseverance, love, patience. These things might sound somewhat antiquated, but if you really think about it and you think deeply, how do you think all these buildings you see around come into fruition? Did they just pop up overnight, or did it take faith, hard work, persistence? Did the workers still have to go out there and build even when the weather wasn't the best, or it was raining, or it was cold? Were the construction guys still out there? When you're doing anything in life you're wanting to accomplish, there's a certain amount of faith and effort and persistence that you have to exude in order for these things to manifest in your life. Now, what do I mean by your consciousness? You know, you never heard of anyone saying that this person has lost their brain. You often hear someone say that person's lost their mind. The mind and the brain are not the same thing. The brain houses the mind. I'm going to say this to you again. The brain houses the mind. Now, what is in your mind? What is in your mind? The only thing that is in your mind is your own wonderful human imagination. You see, all of us have the capacity to imagine whatever it is we want. You could see yourself on the moon if you wanted to. You could see yourself at a beach. You can see yourself married to some handsome guy or some beautiful young woman. You can literally see yourself with your own studio. You can see yourself interviewing people. See, that's the mind's eye. But most of us are never taught on how to use it. In other words, we use our mind's eye inappropriately. Most people use their mind's eye to see negative. They see what's wrong. They see what's wrong, in particularly in their life. And they must understand through the natural law of our existence, through divine law, what you think about is what you will become. I'm going to say this to you again. You become what you think about. I'm going to say this to you again. You will become what you think about. What is the most dominant thought in your mind? Some people it's poverty. I'm struggling. I'm trying to make it. How do I get out of this situation? Some people it might be a food addiction. Some people it might be weed or drugs, whatever the case might be. But just remember, you weren't born that way. You became that way. I'm going to say this to you again. You were not born that way. You became that way. Well, how do I become that way? Environment, number one. Who am I around? Number two, what do I listen to? Number three, the eyes are the windows to the soul. What do I allow into my mind or into my consciousness? This is the most important thing you must learn to do. You see, once you understand the divine right that you have to literally create whatever you want, in your imagination, this studio equipment, did it just appear by osmosis or did someone think it up? Everything you see around you is once a thought. Everything. The car, the house, the clothes, the roads, the supermarkets, the hospitals, everything was once a thought. The deal is, many people, usually the people who are in power, have learned to master this. They've learned to create something out of nothing, to have something come from their mind's eye and then make it a reality. Many of us don't believe that we possess the same ability, but I assure you that you do. Now, how do I do it? How do I use that power, Mr. Johnson? You say I have that. Well, how do I do it? Listen, the power of belief is an awesome gift. You must believe that what you're saying is true. You must live your life as if the things that you're desiring to have happen have already happened. The world is fickle. The world says, show me and I'll believe you. But the universe or God says, believe me and I'll show you. You see, most people want something without believing for it to happen. Once you understand that your belief system manifested with your mindset equips you to start to create change in your life, you must believe from this concept, or must move from this concept, from just believing to knowing. There's a difference between believing and knowing. I encourage you to move from believing to knowing. However, it is believing that brings you to knowing. Let me give you an example. Do you believe your mother loves you, or do you know that she does? I'm sure most of you would say, I know my mother loves me. Well, there's a difference, because you can believe something and it might not be true. I want you to understand the difference. Your mind is the gateway to all change that you have in your life. It is how you see yourself, how you think, and how you feel. Your emotions, your energy in motions, how you feel is a definite, significant part of the whole manifestation process. If you're feeling depressed, lonely, afraid, not that I haven't experienced these feelings myself, but remember, they're just feelings. They're temporary. It doesn't mean that it is necessarily real. That's not to say we should negate what we feel, but we should not allow our emotions to rule us. So again, understand the divine spark that you have in you to create the life that you want. Hey, listen, I'm Mr. Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me on Evolution Now. Again, I hope it helps. Remember, your mind makes it real. Your mind makes it real. And above all else, keep the commandments. Have a blessed day. Thank you.